Hello, hello. Oh, I'm not properly in shot. I'm going to show you my new dress. Do you like my new dress? I'm going to have to adjust the screen somewhat because it's a little bit low. Let's get me properly in view. Sorry for the boob shot there. There we go. There's a reason why I'm showing you my new dress. It's going to be relevant to today's video, which is about ways of making a way to make money from your stuff during lockdown. So I know a lot of us have been struggling to get rid of stuff, and that's been a bit demotivating for decluttering while the charity shops have been closed and Free Cycle hasn't been operating. They might be opening up again around your way, they might not be, or they might not be taking stuff at the moment, or some of the charity shops are a bit overwhelmed with donations. So I've got a great idea for a way to move stuff on. I'm Rachel Papworth from Green and Tidy, the online professional organiser. I liberate busy people like you from the shackles of clutter and chaos for peace of mind and productivity, because when your home works, your life works. And last weekend, a friend of a friend came up with this really good idea. She posted to a local Facebook group that covers the area of Brighton that I live in and suggested that we have a tabletop sale. So anybody who's got stuff that they haven't been able to get rid of during lockdown, put a table outside their house on this particular day and sell their stuff. And it was really, really successful. I wandered around it for like several hours. It covered quite a big area. And I would say that every street had at least one stall, if not 3, 4 or 5. So it was great for wandering around. People had hand sanitizer on their stalls so that you could sanitize your hands if you want to have a look at anything. And people were very sensible about social distancing. And it was really, really successful. So brilliant way to get rid of stuff. And I found this dress, which is made by a local designer who's actually really quite expensive. And I got it for a fiver, and I'm really pleased with it. But there's another reason why I'm wanting to talk about this, which is that I also found it to be, although I really enjoyed looking around the sale and it was really successful, I also found it to be an absolute demonstration of something that I talk about in my Declutter Sentimental Stuff video course, which is the endowment effect. And the endowment effect is a very human trait, which we all suffer from, whereby as soon as we own something, like the minute we own something, we assume it's more valuable than something that we don't own. We're loss averse. We don't like to let go of things. We find it much harder to let go of things than we do to not acquire them in the first place. So there was an excellent experiment done to demonstrate the endowment effect. Some people were randomly asked to come and take part in an experiment, but the thing they were being asked to do wasn't actually the experiment. They were kind of misled as to what was the point of them being there. And they were each given a gift to say thank you for taking part. They were either given a mug or they were given a bar of chocolate. And they were told that it was worth a couple of quid, whatever, it cost a couple of quid. And then as soon as they'd been given it, they were said, oh, actually, if you want, you can have this. So if you've been given the chocolate, you can have the mug instead, or if you've had the mug, you can have the chocolate instead. And they were told that it was cost the same amount of money. And the majority of people, and the same proportion of people, said they wanted to keep the thing that they'd been given, whether it was the mug or the chocolate. So in other words, it's nothing about what the item is. It's as soon as you own it, it seems more valuable to you than the alternative. And this was so in evidence as I looked around these stalls, because on the stalls, I could see all the kind of stuff that people I work with in their homes also have and don't really need and may or may not get rid of. So they were like children's drum kits with missing pieces, or children's golf club sets with missing golf clubs. There was a pair of really grubby, worn slippers. There were the kind of slippers that you get given when you stay at a hotel for free. There were all sorts of clothes that were really past their best. And not only were those items in themselves not going to sell, but they detracted from the stall's other stuff, the other stuff that the people were selling. So I'd find myself looking at the stall and sort of thinking that generally what was on the stall wasn't really up to much, and then kind of realising it was because there were 1 or 2 items on there that really just were not saleable, but there were like gems in there as well. So there's kind of several lessons that coming out of this. So the first thing is to remember how much easier it is to acquire stuff than to let go of stuff, and to try not to acquire the stuff in the first place. The second thing is to be realistic if you're holding on to anything with the idea of selling it. If you're holding on to something thinking, oh, I can make money out of this, well, to be honest, just go out there and try, or be realistic and think, you know what, nobody's really going to want this, or they're not going to make, they're not going to spend very much money on this, it's not worth my effort. I know a couple of people who did stalls at that event and made just no more than a few quid after sitting on a stall all day. So you've got to be realistic about what you're moving on. But the other lesson is, if you do want a way of selling your stuff over lockdown, what a great idea. Have a community yard sale and get your neighbours involved and move your stuff on. So I hope that's useful to you. Please comment below all sorts of things you might have in response to that. Can you see the endowment effect playing out in your life? Has it helped you to let go of anything? Are you going to have a yard sale? Tell me about it if you are. I really appreciate any likes on this video. Also, obviously share it widely if you're on some kind of declutter forum and you think this might be useful to somebody else. Please do share the video. I look forward to reading your comments. I reply to them all personally, and I will see you in next week's YouTube Live. I'll see if I can approach the camera in a subtle way to turn it off. See you next week.